Those are wellheads, and they are everywhere. There's thousands of them. What the guys used to, the fishermen used to use landmarks to get around out there because it all looks the same pretty much. So it was landmarks that they marked. Now it's wellheads because the land is washing away from the oil field canals, and they've just got them everywhere, and a lot of them are abandoned. We have pipelines. If you put a map of the Gulf Coast up and then overlay all the pipelines on the top of it, you can't see the land anymore because there's so many of them. And a lot of them are abandoned. A lot of wellheads are abandoned, and they leak. And the reason they're abandoned because big oil companies, once the amount of oil that they're getting out of a well slips below a certain level, then they sell it to a smaller company, which sells it to another company and another one until somebody goes bankrupt. And they don't clean any of it up. They leave it there, leaking everywhere. So that's some of the things our fishermen were working on trying to get corrected prior to the BP spill. That's another example of stuff that's there right up the street from my house. We can go to the next one. This is right by my house. I didn't notice till this afternoon that it's the same company that's doing, when we were looking at the pictures, it's the same company. They had a well blowout, a gas well blowout there. Before it blew out, we were documenting what they were doing, and the berm that was supposed to contain all their runoff, it had filled up, and instead of getting a tanker or something to clean it up, to haul it away, to have it treated, they put a pump in there and put the hose into the bayou and just pumped it out of the berm and into the bayou. So we were getting ready to report them, but the gas well blew up and we couldn't go home for days because we have to pass it to get to our house. That's discharge. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's all this like fluorescent green color, one of the that they allowed to run off site. Our whole coastal Louisiana is littered with this stuff. They just leave it behind. They don't care. They don't care. And the only people that see it are our fishermen. We're the only ones that can see what they're doing out there because we're the only ones there. Then the BP spill happened. And these are some photographs of the different forms it came in. And when you think oil, you think black stuff's going to come in. Well, that black stuff came in ribbons all over the beach. And then everybody's familiar with what looks like, you know, oil or gasoline on top of water, the sheen. But this is what they call chocolate mousse. And it's another form of oil that's mixed with dispersant that was all over the beach and all in our water. That's our boat. And what they were doing is our whole estuary, it happened April 20th. And we waited, you know, hoping they would cap that thing and control that oil before it got into the estuary, because our fishermen figured if they kept it from coming into the estuary, whatever's in the estuary could restock the Gulf. And so we waited a month, and it was high stress, not knowing what was going to happen, and then it just inundated. That's the boom they used to try to keep it from coming into the estuary. The problem is they dispersed the oil. So it was distributed throughout the water column and just went in underneath those booms. It just came in underneath it through all the bayous and passes from the Gulf into the estuary. That is called Queen Bess Island, which is in Barataria Bay. everything inside that boom around that island, it's a bird island. That's where they nest, and they nest at the time of the year that this oil spill happened. So all of these birds were impacted. Their eggs, everything. Inside the boom is full of oil because the tide comes up, and the oil goes under there into the island and into the marsh, and then the tide goes down and it's all trapped inside of the boom instead of holding the oil.